The following is a production of Learfield Sports.
Hello there and welcome in on Spartan Sports Report. I'm Justin Allegri. San Jose State 1-1 following their opening conference loss at Air Force last week, 37-16. We'll recap that game with San Jose State head coach Ron Caragher. We'll also look ahead to the next road game, Pac-12 opponent Oregon State this weekend. Plus, Jonathan Wold, our reporter, has a story of the start of the home season for the women's soccer team. But first, let's go back to the highlights against Air Force.
On to Falcon Stadium, where the mascot came parachuting in right in front of all the cadets. First game of the conference season for both teams. Air Force gets the ball to start on offense, and a pitch out to Garrett Brown. Maurice McKnight splits the gap to make a nice wrap-up tackle. But the Falcons would get a first down on a 9-yard pass, and then it was this. Another pitch play to Brown, who gets to the outside edge and follows the block all the way to the house, a 63-yard touchdown on the first possession that made it 7-0. Later in the first, with the same score, quarterback Nate Romaine throws a third down and is picked off by Jimmy Pruitt, his first of the year, setting up first down for San Jose State at the Falcon 21-yard line. From there, it is Tyler Irvin catching a floated pass and running it in from 17 yards out, which would tie the score at 7 apiece. Joe Gray then takes over for the Spartans in the second quarter and rolls to his right to deliver a pass. Wonderful footwork from freshman wide receiver Justin Holmes to get a foot down. A couple of plays later, it's Gray over the middle completing to Hansel Wilson on a slant route for 23 yards and another first down. So the Spartans were then in position to take a lead when Bryce Crawford came on for a 36-yard field goal attempt, but doink, and the game remained tied. Romaine starts off the next drive with a 17-yard scramble here for a first down, setting up one of the longer, more sustained drives of the half. 79 yards later on second and goal from the 1-yard line, Romaine sneaks it in on the quarterback keeper to make it 14-7 at halftime. Second half starts with Potter back in, but this was an Irvin drive. 9-yard carry on the first down, and then he finds a window and he hits the gap, exploding through it, and off to the races for Tyler Irvin, 66 yards, and his second touchdown of the game, and it was 14-13, only because Air Force blocks the kick from Bryce Crawford on the extra point, so a 1-point lead for the Falcons. Romaine once again uses his legs to gain a major yardage first down, and Air Force started to march again. Spartans defense would hold them, however, to Drew Early, his 45-yarder, extending that lead 17-14 after the field goal. Spartans respond though on the next play with a long run from Kenny Potter, starting right, cutting back to his left, and then going farther across the field for 42 yards, plus the late hit, which adds another 15 to it. Spartans get into the red zone, but Potter is sacked by Mountain West Defensive Player of the Week, Weston Steelhammer, but a great game for a loss of 9. On comes Austin Lopez now for a 42-yard try, and he would nail it in a big moment, really, bringing back to a 1-point game, 17-16. Start of the third quarter when Potter drops back to throw to Tim Crawley, who tips the ball, and it is picked off by Kalon Baker, giving the Falcons great field position. From there, DJ Johnson bowls his way into the end zone for a 13-yard score. Point after, though, no good, so the score was a 7-point lead, 23-16. But after a Spartan 3-and-out, Romaine with room to run again, this time for 45 yards and the first down run to the Spartan 21-yard line. A couple of plays later, and after Romaine was injured, 4th and goal, they try to go for it, and DJ Johnson skies over the pile to score, and it was 30-16 Falcons. Ensuing Spartan drive, Joe Gray pressured, tries the backpedaling throw, and is lobbed up in the air, intercepted by Steelhammer. So a big turnover for the Spartans. From there, it was one give to Jacoby Owens for 52 yards, running up the right side of the field, and then the game would be sealed with the third DJ Johnson touchdown, this time from 34 yards away, making it 37-16, which would be the final score. Spartans fall to 1-1, 0-1 in conference play, while Air Force goes to 2-0, the only team in the Mountain West that has 2 wins so far this year. Irvin 12 carries 121 yards on the ground, a touchdown receiving and rushing, but really no rushes after his 66-yard touchdown run in the second half. DJ Johnson scored 3 times on 21 carries for the Falcons, while Weston Steelhammer had 3 tackles for loss, an interception, and a sack, as the Falcons win it 37-16. With that, we go to this week's Bay 101 Casino Player of the Game, and for the second week in a row, it's running back Tyler Irvin, who had both Spartan touchdowns, 12 carries for 121 yards, and 3 receptions for 28 yards. He is this week's Player of the Week. After the next Spartan home game, drop by Bay 101 Casino for an exciting game of easy baccarat, 3-card poker, or no-bust blackjack. Bay 101 is open 24/7 and is just off the 101 freeway at the Brokaw Road exit. Bay 101 Casino, San Jose's place to play.
Time now for this week's Lexus Drive of the Game, and for the Drive of the Game, we'll go back to Air Force right after a Jimmy Pruitt interception.
Okay, so the drive doesn't technically start with the interception, but it's nice to see again. Jimmy Pruitt picks off Romine and returns it 24 yards to the Air Force 21-yard line. So 1st and 10, and the give goes to Tyler Irvin, carrying it out to the left and trying to get to that edge, but is strung out for no gain. On 2nd down, Potter play fakes, and he's hit as he throws, but gets the slant route to Hansel Wilson for 9 yards, just shy of a 1st down. Then a penalty on Jeremiah Colon, false start, pushed the Spartans back 5 yards, making it 3rd and 6 from the Air Force 17-yard line. That is when Potter floats a pass to Irvin, who leaked out on the sideline, catches it and runs it in to the pylon, scoring the first touchdown of the game for the Spartans. Overall, the drive lasted just 3 plays, going 21 yards in 1 minute and 36 seconds, but it tied the game, and that is this week's Drive of the Game, brought to you by your Northern California Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. We take a look now at other Mountain West Conference scores from last week on the Kinder's Barbecue Mountain West scoreboard. 5 teams played top 25 schools in the Mountain West Conference last week, with 2 of them hosting. Utah State taking a loss to number 24 Utah. Minnesota on the road at Colorado State. They had to go into overtime in that game, and a turnover on the first possession for Colorado State gave Minnesota the ball, and they would go down to get a field goal and win that game in overtime. Number 1 Ohio State doing what they do best, shutting out Hawaii. Fresno State taking a pounding at Ole Miss, 73-21. Wyoming at home, another loss to start off their year. They're now 0-2 to start off the season. Arizona beat Nevada on the road, the number 22 team, and then Boise State being upset by BYU 35-24, and UCLA getting a victory on the road as well at UNLV. And that is the Mountain West scoreboard, brought to you by Kinder's Barbecue.
We'll take our first break here on Spartan Sports Report. When we return, we'll have the story from the women's soccer home opener.
Some things are not what they appear to be. Other things are exactly what they appear to be. The 306 horsepower Lexus IS 350. As aggressive as it looks. See your Northern California Lexus dealer.
With millions of businesses all in one place, the YP app can help you do pretty much anything. But can it get you to the moon? You'll need a space helmet. YP can do that. You'll need the highest rated hardware stores. Check. YP even has a cheap gas finder, which is perfect for longer trips. The even more powerful, so much more than a search engine Yellow Pages. YP can do that.
Welcome back here on Spartan Sports Report. The women's soccer home schedule kicked off last week, and our reporter Jonathan Wold has the story.
Spartans women's soccer kicked off their home opener last Friday from the Spartan soccer field. Now in their second season under head coach Lauren Hansen, SJSU started their year with a 2-1-1 record on the road heading into their home debut. Lining up against them was a St. Mary's team that was undefeated through their first 6 games. The Spartans put on a push heading into the half, but were held off the score sheet through the first 45 minutes.
We really actually didn't make any adjustments. I thought we were playing very, very well. We played really good soccer today, and something we talked about all week was keeping the ball and really our possession, working on that and playing to feet and then switching the point of attack, and you saw that in the first half.
Early in the second half, the Spartans earned a corner kick taken by Alexis Venegas. The ball just may have crossed the line, but regardless, it was played by a St. Mary's defender with her hands, giving the Spartans a penalty kick. Freshman Daryl Franklin buried the kick and gave the Spartans a 1-0 lead in the 57th minute. Franklin has been a huge addition to the club, leading the team in goals and earning a Mountain West Player of the Week honor right before the game.
Yeah, I think my biggest thing is the support from my teammates, which helps me out a lot. Because they, like, even if I have a bad day, they're like, come on, you're better than this, you can do it, which is it helps me, like, boost my confidence.
Franklin just further solidifies a midfield that may be the team's biggest strength. Darlene Rodriguez and Alexis Venegas return to the group along with junior college transfers Samantha Arodpour and Maricruz Chapa, who was second on the team with 5 points.
She's been great. I mean, a true soccer player, just very good on the ball, really great distributor, very good threader of passes and through balls, and she's very cheeky, so it's nice to have that too.
Spartan keeper Zoe Macrianis' shutout bid fell just short in this game, leaving her just one back of the school record for career shutouts. St. Mary's put on a push midway through the second and tied the game with a strike from Madison Salome and pushed the game to extra time.
I hate extra time. It's not fun, but when we go, it's just kind of like all out. 20 minutes, just all your energy all out, and hopefully we could get a goal and win. And yeah, because we've lost before in overtime, and it's the worst feeling. So it's just everything you've got, put it on the field for the last 20 minutes.
SJSU dominated possession in the overtime periods, but St. Mary's held on by the skin of their teeth to force the draw. Final score, Spartans 1, St. Mary's 1. This was already the Spartans' third double overtime game of the year.
Their keeper had a phenomenal game and made some great saves, and we just couldn't put one in the back of the net. So
the Spartans were picked to finish right in the middle of the Mountain West in the preseason conference poll. They'll have the chance to play every team in the conference once this year. After facing a few more in-state rivals, the Spartans will open conference play on September 25th at Wyoming. From the Spartan soccer field, I'm Jonathan Wold for Spartan Sports Report. Back to you, Justin.
Thanks, Jonathan. We'll take another break here on Spartan Sports Report. When we return, Coach Caragher will be in studio to talk about the Air Force game. More to come when we return.
Come enjoy a California-grown experience at Una Mas Mexican Grill. From our local produce and freshest ingredients to our unique authentic Mexican dishes and salsa bar, Una Mas truly is California-grown. Since the first Una Mas opened in San Jose over 20 years ago, we've worked hard to use the freshest local ingredients to make the dishes you love. Because when we care this much about our food, everything is going to taste better, naturally. Una Mas Mexican Grill. We taste better.
Welcome back on Spartan Sports Report. Now talking with San Jose State head coach Ron Caragher following the Air Force game. Coach, obviously a tough game on the road, triple option team. Thought, though, for the first three quarters, the defense did well. Better so in years past. Sometimes we'd see that running back get to the outside edge. Right. Team was sealing it off. Obviously, maybe the fourth quarter a little bit different, but those first three, pretty good.
Yeah, I think they had a nice run first series of the game on an option pitch for a touchdown. But outside of that, I agree, for the next couple quarters, we played pretty solid football. We tackled well. We had a number of tackles for losses, and that was a big emphasis during the week. And I thought we played pretty solid and given up some plays here and then, like you mentioned, the fourth quarter, it got away from us. Unfortunately, because I don't think that score was really indicative of the type of game that it was.
Well, and when you talk about defense, obviously the big story of the game, Christian Tago. Just what is his status, and your thoughts about what looked like a pretty bad play?
Yeah, it was. It was very disturbing to see it on the field, and then to watch the replay of it was even more disturbing. You know, the rule, the targeting rule, came in effect for very good reasons. The game of football is under attack for rightfully so reasons, the head injuries that can happen. And so the rule makers have put a lot of things in place, including the ejection with targeting in place so that type of behavior doesn't happen. Is it enough? I don't know that answer because we still see it and it still happens, and we want to protect these young men. I care about them and want them to keep their health. But all in all, it was tough to see and tough to watch it. And hopefully we can eventually. I understand sometimes, Justin, targeting. You know, two players, you and I breaking on a ball. You catch the ball, and I want to break it up, and we happen to hit helmets. That happens. But you know, an offensive player, we just got to look hard at the game. We're trying to protect, and we want to preserve and make sure those things don't happen.
Well, how is Christian? I know he's a team captain, and honestly, this is a player that really leads not only the defense but the offense too. He's just a team leader.
He is. He's an outstanding young man. He's a great ambassador for San Jose State. Who he is, what he's about, his spirit, his energy, all that he brings. So it's really day to day. We'll see how the week goes along. And I'm confident in our athletic training staff and Christian, and at the right time he will return.
Well, he was having a great game when he left. And another player that sort of new to some, Epi Sona, boy, he had a great game too.
He did, and it began showing up the last couple weeks in practice. Greg mentioned to me Epi's been playing really good and given hints that he's going to be playing more, and so I was encouraged. I've always respected Epi and what he brings to the table. He's a tough player, he plays hard, and he got his chance early in the game, and he played good, and I think he had double-digit tackles and did a nice job for us. So it's good to add that depth over the course of a season. We'll definitely need it.
What was the difference for you, Coach, in that fourth quarter? Air Force really seemed to figure it out and was able to expose some things on defense. What was it for?
Yeah, I think that they had some long sustaining drives that kept our offense off the field, and when our offense did get a chance, we didn't execute. I think that's the summary from, you know, as a coach after a loss, we look in the mirror and what could we have done better? And I think that from an execution standpoint, we didn't execute in the game things that we saw that we did during the week, and we need to carry that over. And I think part of that, Justin, is playing on the road the first time. And it's not an excuse, but because we have to overcome that. That's just what it is. But there are different challenges, but we need to grow up fast to be able to do that, because winning on the road is part of the game of any successful season.
Well, Coach, obviously the quarterback situation, both players played again, both had their hiccups in this game. Your assessment now and how to move forward? Are we still going with two? What are you seeing?
I would like to get to one sooner than later, and that's the plan. I think we need to continue to work those guys in practice and see how this week unfolds. But yes, we want to get to one quarterback to keep the continuity, keep the rhythm going.
Are you seeing with their competition, we've talked a lot about this already, but are you seeing with their competition that maybe they're trying to force certain things because they want to win that role?
I'm not seeing that. I think that sometimes there's been a couple errant throws, and there was a misread. Kenny threw to Tim Crawley the other night on an option route, and Tim broke as if it's man. Kenny threw it as if he hooked up, and it got bobbled and intercepted. And that was unfortunate. And then Joe had a throw that didn't go all the way out of bounds as he intended, and it got intercepted. I think those are problems, but I'm not really seeing that. I feel like our guys are making pretty, for the most part, good decisions. They'll never be flawless, even if they were 100%. But I just think we have to execute better. We have to make those throws once we make the good decisions with the ball.
Well, boy, Tyler Irvin had another great game, and over 100 yards rushing again. We've already talked about enough about him, but it was Thomas Tucker that I was curious about. He didn't play that game. It seemed like they played so well off of each other. Is Tucker okay?
He is coming back. He had an injury that wasn't announced because he was really day-to-day last week, and we kept...
That's not something to disclose.
Right, and the optimistic side of me is, he's going to be ready. He's going to be ready. Well, that kept getting pushed to a game day decision, and then it ended up, watching him run pregame, he's not ready. Let's not go. But Jared Lawson had practiced all week, and so we felt good. But Tuck should be back soon. I'm thinking this week he'll be back for us.
All right, we'll take a quick break with Coach Caragher, and we'll talk Oregon State when we return on Spartan Sports Report.
The Learfield Sports Directors Cup honors the nation's best overall collegiate athletic program in each division, men's and women's sports. The prestigious award continues its reign as the crowning achievement in college athletics. To follow your favorite team, like us on Facebook. Find us in USA Today, online, and on Twitter at LS Directors Cup. Over 2 decades of excellence, the Learfield Sports Directors Cup.
With millions of businesses all in one place, the YP app can help you do pretty much anything. But can it get you to the moon? You'll need a space helmet. YP can do that. You'll need the highest rated hardware stores. Check. YP even has a cheap gas finder, which is perfect for longer trips. The even more powerful, so much more than a search engine Yellow Pages. YP can do that.
Welcome back here on Spartan Sports Report, continuing to talk with San Jose State head coach Ron Caragher as we get ready for a Pac-12 opponent in Oregon State, and a team that I guess is kind of in a transitionary mode right now with a new coach and trying to get back to what they were a few years ago, a bowl team. Is that how you see them?
I do. Pro-style offense under Coach Mike Riley, and with the fullback, the conventional fullback, the tight end, and so forth. And so new coach Anderson comes in, and they want to go to more of a spread, zone read option type of attack, where you really stretch the field and use your athletes on the perimeter. And so that's the strategy, and still got some of that personnel from the previous regime, and trying to put in the new offense. But they're working it in, as we see. I mean, we heard that prior to the season, but we see them working in the fullbacks, the tight ends, and getting those guys on the field. So all in all, I think at the end of the day, they'll use their best personnel and find ways to fit the scheme around those players.
Unique scenario as well. The knowledge of Collins, the quarterback. Obviously, San Jose State recruited him. He was coming here. Know him pretty well, I would think.
Yeah, definitely. We recruited him. We had him in camp, and he was committed to us for, I want to say, about 6 months, and then he signed with us in December. And it's really interesting, the whole letter of intent and signing scholarship papers. And high school transfers don't sign the letter of intent, but they sign the scholarship papers, which are non-binding. And so thus the reason he, in essence, was would you say, a free agent when Oregon State started recruiting him. And I think they got a good one. I mean, we liked him and really liked what we saw. And they're going to have him for 4 years, and he's a special player. He's a really good athlete. He runs around well. He's got a good arm. He's got some pretty good touch. And all in all, he should have a nice career.
It's kind of hard to tell with them, at least early on. Their offense hasn't really been overpowering, hasn't really gotten going yet, has it?
Right, I think so. I think they're looking for their identity and their mojo, their main plays that they feel comfortable. We as coaches say, hang your hat on type of plays that you really feel comfortable calling, 15, 20 times a game, and they haven't done that yet, but they will, I'm sure. They've got some talented players. The offensive line is probably the best place to start because it's a good, solid unit, and they play with good pad leverage, and they play as a group pretty well. But the skilled players are there. It's a matter of just working together. And
that's what it is, playing against a Pac-12 style team. They get the big offensive lines in there, don't they?
Most definitely, and it's just a little bigger size player, a little more athletic type player in that size. That's really the difference. And then there's the depth too. They traditionally carry a good number of good players, so we're going to definitely have our hands full.
Ramel Magno, the guy, a linebacker on this team, but he gets to the quarterback and part of a defense really that's active in the secondary and isn't afraid to blitz up front, are they?
Right. No, he is very active, and he does a good job of timing up his blitzes. He's a good open field tackler, and he plays hard, and he plays how the game should be played. So does a good job, and he's definitely one of the leaders of their defense.
Talk about the tailback position, because you mentioned they will run that option every once in a while, but it seems like they haven't really found their running back yet.
Right, they haven't gotten it going. Their leading rusher is the quarterback, and Seth is, some of those are by design, but some of those are off broken plays and passes that were covered or whatnot. But they want to get that going because that's a big part of the zone read, the motion fly sweep off of it with the quarter. It really comes down to triple option football. Give it on the zone read, the jet sweep, or the quarterback keep it out the back end. And I think Seth is talented enough that even if he makes the wrong decision and keeps it when there's a defender there, he can make a miss in the open field because of his quickness.
All right, that's San Jose State head coach Ron Caragher. Thanks, Coach. Go get him.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Justin.
More to come here on Spartan Sports Report when we return.
Some things are not what they appear to be. Other things are exactly what they appear to be. The 306 horsepower Lexus IS 350. As aggressive as it looks. See your Northern California Lexus dealer.
Come enjoy a California-grown experience at Una Mas Mexican Grill. From our local produce and freshest ingredients to our unique authentic Mexican dishes and salsa bar, Una Mas truly is California-grown. Since the first Una Mas opened in San Jose over 20 years ago, we've worked hard to use the freshest local ingredients to make the dishes you love. Because when we care this much about our food, everything is going to taste better, naturally. Una Mas Mexican Grill. We taste better.
Welcome back here on Spartan Sports Report. That does it for this week's episode. Once again, the Spartans will head to Oregon State this weekend to play the Beavers up in Corvallis. The pregame show will start at 4:30 Pacific time on 1590 AM KLIV and the Spartan Radio Network with kickoff at 5 o'clock. Thanks for watching this week, and we'll see you next time.